Hi Mum, you do everything for everyone else. Let me help you make your life easier. Quick, short information to make you empowered and remind you why you are so important. Because if you don't know what's on the menu, how can you choose what's right for you? Hi, I'm Elena, director of my private practice Supportive Therapy, an everyday Aussie mum trying not to lose my biscuits and my kids. As a mental health professional, I'm here to share my secrets so no other mother feels alone or powerless. Knowledge is power, and I want you to be powerful. Think of it like I'm your mindset coach through all of this. Everything is backed by science and psychology. I believe in you, and I want you to be the best version of yourself. To be happy and to feel in control, you need to be mentally strong. Hello everyone, welcome to Mentally Strong Mums. My name is Elena Bishop, and this episode I want to be able to talk about gratitude and appreciation. Sometimes, especially as mums, with all of our mental load, all of our decision fatigue, trying to manage everything, sometimes we always feel like we're completely alone. Like we're the ones that have to sacrifice everything. We're the ones that have to think and plan about everything. Sometimes if your partner isn't able to be there for you the way that you need them to be, it makes me feel more alone. It then has resentment. Resentment comes from the envy family. And when resentment comes in a relationship from the envy family, it almost feels like I'm jealous because you don't have to have all these pressures on you, but all of the pressures are on me. And I feel like if it wasn't for me, nothing would run or nothing would get done. So then it's this resentment because I feel like I'm completely alone in all of this. All of the mental load is on me. Nothing would exist or get done or evolve without me. And it's very difficult because when we feel like that, it then has a profound impact of how we feel about ourselves and our choices. And then trying to be able to communicate that as well to the people around us, or even if one of our coping mechanisms from our parents, from our mums, is to actually keep everything inside. So we bottle everything up. I don't want to whinge. I feel like a nag, all of that kind of stuff. So then you're just circling and spiraling with all of this resentment and anger and feeling everything's unfair. And the next thing you know, I'm then resenting the children because, well, why wouldn't you? I feel like you're taking advantage of me as well. Why can't you just do as I ask? Why can't you just, right? And so this is very common, especially in households where there's a lot of pressure. The mum feels like there's a lot of pressure on her. Sometimes she might be working. Sometimes there's a financial pressure. And then as well as if there's not good communication within the household between the parents, it can be absolutely devastating because a lot of this is actually feeling alone and I can't do anything about it. And I feel frustrated because there's nothing I can say or do to change this. So I put everything on my own shoulders, right? And it's interesting because we need to be able to be better in relationships. And if you're choosing a partner, we need to be able to evolve together. And a lot of people say, well, women, we're evolving and we're growing and we're doing the work and we're leaving men behind. And it's not that we're leaving men behind. This is this environment that we're growing up in as a parent, as a mother, with all of this information that's readily available. And we want to be better and do better. And sometimes if we feel like our partner isn't as motivated or they're overwhelmed, and how difficult that is because I want to be able to move forward and grow and evolve. And I'm learning all of these new things and I want you to come with me, but it feels like they're stagnant, right? Because their template as a man sometimes is, this is the first generation where a man is expected to be a father and have a real father's role. When in the past, their father's role or their templates for what a dad is essentially they're the breadwinner. They don't have a lot to do with the family. They don't have a lot to do with chores. They don't have a lot to do with emotional connections. So it's interesting because this is the first generation of men where they're expected to have an active participation in the family as a father, as a caregiver. And for a lot of people, men that don't have those templates, they don't know how or what to do because they don't have that tool set. Now, that's not an excuse. There's a lot of other people out there, especially men, who want to be able to cultivate this in men. But when we talk about women, sometimes if this is, I'm describing your partner, it can be very difficult because I feel completely alone. I'm doing all the work. I want to have these in-depth conversations with you. I'm trying to validate your feelings. You're actually invalidating mine. And how can we completely move forward? And then especially if their moods impact you because they're not self-aware, they're not emotionally intelligent, it's very difficult then, because if they're constantly projecting their stuff on the partner, because we are women have wombs. That means we're nurturers. Sometimes we end up putting the needs of other people over our own. And sometimes when you have a partner who's emotionally immature, they don't have emotional intelligence, and they project all of their things onto the female, it can be very difficult because I then end up putting all my time and effort into soothing you, into making you feel okay, into validating your experience, while then not being able to do that for me. So it's this constant push and pull in this modern world of knowing all of this information, this oversaturation of everything on social media, everything to do with trauma, what a healthy relationship and communication looks like, versus someone that's has intergenerational trauma, putting our heads in the sand and understanding what we actually want moving forward. And as I've spoken about in the past, it's that intergenerational, like the generational legacy. What generational legacy do you want to leave for your kids? So the connectedness, emotional maturity, how to be able to negotiate and communicate, welcoming conflict instead of avoiding it or overreacting in every single way, right? So we need to be able to then focus on ourselves so that we can be rock solid within ourselves. And if our mood and our emotions are dependent on someone else, it can be very, very difficult, because that's where all the resentment comes from, because I'm prioritizing them over myself, right? So how can we essentially make ourselves rock solid to be able to know that we are capable, we are doing the best that we can, engages that we will be a part of, and things that I don't want to be able to engage with because I need to be able to protect myself, right? So this is when sometimes knowing about yourself and making yourself rock solid so that you are completely regulated all the time, you don't get sucked into things, you're able to articulate yourself in a calm way, to be able to self-advocate. And then if you've done that in a lovely, logical way, without emotions, just being able to be factual about what you need and how you feel, then at least you know that you've done everything within your power to be able to know that you are trying your best, you are a good mum. Being gratitude and appreciation for yourself, for everything that you've known, for all the work that you're doing on yourself to try and grow. And especially listening to podcasts like this with mentally strong mums. If you listen to any sports person, any athlete, anyone in the Olympics, even if it's Ash Barty or Kerr, the soccer player, they all have the physical ability to be able to compete and be obviously phenomenally amazing. The thing that gets them across the line is being mentally strong. So people that actually succeed and win in a lot of their competitions or their sports, because they have a mindset coach, and the mindset coach is the one that makes them mentally strong to be able to cross the line and achieve what they want to. Because don't believe everything you think. Sometimes your thoughts, when you spiral, especially if we come from trauma or something bad has happened to you, a lot of the time, naturally, as a coping mechanism, your brain will actually come back into a victim mode and blame myself. I shouldn't have done that. I should have known better. I can't believe I chose that. And I'm not going to get into that too much. That's a whole therapy session within itself. But we need to be able to graduate into looking at things from the bigger perspective to see, you know what? I am a good mum. I am trying my best. I am trying to better myself. I appreciate all the work that I've done, and how can I then have that beautiful connection with my children, right? Being able to be completely regulated and grow within yourself, as well as trying to heal your past hurts, heal your past intergenerational traumas, so that you can then speak about yourself. There's also this thing called the self-fulfilling prophecy. You want to be able to think positively about yourself, that I am capable, I can do my best, everything's going to work out for me. I know that I am a good mum. I know that I am determined. I know that I'm resilient. Everything's going to be okay. And so that then will be your self-fulfilling prophecy and come true. Hashtag manifesting, right? But if you're from the other side where you're like, I'm not good enough, I can't ever do this, I feel like I'm completely alone, no one loves me, I'm not connected, I don't belong, I'm not, right? Then that will then be your self-fulfilling prophecy and what you will end up with, right? There's also this thing called a locus of control. You can either have an internal locus of control or an external locus of control. External locus of control is blaming it on everyone else or the circumstances, how I just have bad luck, they're biased, they don't like me anyways, I can't do anything right, it's not fair, I always feel like I'm marginalized in some way. But if you have an internal locus of control, that means that I do have choices, I can have free will, I do believe in my capabilities. If I just stick to it and I learn and evolve, everything will work out for me, right? So that's understanding how you're able to then just make little shifts within your life and the way that you perceive everything, so that you can start to build yourself rock solid, okay? So that other people can't influence you, they can't change your mood, they can't change your state. And that's the purpose of all of this as well. There was this interesting thing that I heard, your body is your house and your body is where your emotions are. If you're allowing anyone, such as your boss or your in-laws or your own parents or your partner, to be able to say and do things so that you then put all of your eggs in their basket. So if they're happy with you, then you're happy with yourself. But if they're angry with you, you're angry with yourself. Or if they think that you haven't done well, or that you are incompetent, or you haven't X, Y, and Z, that's then how I feel about myself. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be able to keep my emotions and my stuff in my house, so that I truly believe in myself and know that I'm doing the right thing. I am good enough and I am worthy. I am a good human. So that when people say those different things about you, you can take it on board, but it doesn't then change the way that you feel yourself, okay? Knowing that we all can do better and we all make mistakes, but we can also learn from them, as opposed to feeling shame. And shame is, I'm not good enough, I can't believe I did that, there's something wrong with me, I am completely alone, I'm not connected at all, right? So we just need that little shift, and they call that cognition, because it's our forehead. A frontal lobe, which is regulated, all right? Prefrontal cortex, okay? So we need to be able to do things that we can make ourselves really strong and bulletproof, and know that we're doing the best that we can, right? So whether it be something that you appreciate or that you have gratitude for, so you can have little mantras. So sometimes my mantras lately are, people go out of their way for me. So I genuinely see different things throughout the day where people are kind and people go out of their way for me, so that when they do, I see it with my eyes and I say it, and then it reinforces it. There was a phase where I was like, well, I get things for free all the time, right? And then next thing you know, that's all I can kind of see. And I know that people are really lovely. I am connected. So it's the little mantras that you're saying to yourself. And another mantra is, everything works out for me. So that when everything works out for you, It gives you confidence in yourself that you are okay, you are worthy, you are deserving, everything does work out, right? Even when you want to set expectations on what you want to do or resolutions, whether it comes to relationships or even weight loss, self-care, if you're doing something fabulous for yourself, like you've decided you want to do a marathon or start a little side hustle, instead of having the goals of something specific like I need to lose 10 kilos, you actually want a realistic resolution such as I want to be able to have respect for my body and move it every single day. Because when I move it every single day, it will then result. Or I want to be able to make healthy choices and not drink as much. I want to make healthy choices and only eat foods that have had a life. So that means they're not processed. It means they've either been grown somewhere, right? Also, being able to then being selfless and do acts of kindness for other people, whether it be for your kids, going out of your way, really feeling connected, and then they will then learn that and it will be reciprocal to you. All right? What kind of household do you want to have and cultivate within your kids, right? So even if you want to write down your goals about who you want to be, you can even, it's a really good thing as well. You can write down on on side of the paper, the things that you chastise yourself about, or you emasculate yourself about, or you don't think like you're worthy. So I don't feel like I'm good enough. I don't feel like I'm worthy. I don't feel like I'm connected. I feel like I can't trust anyone, right? So if you write those down on one side of the piece of paper, and then on the other side of the piece of paper, write the opposite of what you want to believe. And then from now on, with self-fulfilling prophecy, with internal locus of control, with appreciation and gratitude, with keeping your emotions in your house, with building yourself like you're bulletproof, as well as being mentally strong as your own mindset coach, start brainwashing yourself with the positive things on the opposite side, all right? We can just make little shifts because you have to understand what are your negative core beliefs, the way that you think negatively about yourself, whether it's shame, disappointment, alone, no control. And then how can we change that within yourself to be able to actually know that I do have a choice. I am worthy, I am good enough, I am doing the best that I can. To be able to lift your vibration, being able to lift your happiness, know that you have control and choices over your life. All right? I appreciate you coming today, and I know that was a lot in a short period of time. So if you need to re-listen to that again, please go back because it's very impactful and it's really understanding who you are and how to be able to make the most of your life in these circumstances, as well as that generational legacy you want to have for your kids. All right? Have a great day. Love you, Mum. Bye. If you are hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to thank you for your support. It takes me hours to research and create this for you, so I genuinely hope you enjoyed it and felt more mentally strong. If you have any suggestions or improvements, let me know because I'm always open for criticisms. If you have found my information useful, please leave a review and subscribe. So by leaving a review, it's a value exchange. It's good karma. I value your support just as much as you value my free information. So find me on Instagram and Facebook by searching Mentally Strong Mums, and I'm Aussie, so we're spelled MUM. And then you can find heaps of resources on www.mentallystrongmums.com. And this podcast is for you, so let me know what topics you would like to see covered in future episodes. And if yourself is a professional that is working with mums and would like to be a guest to help other mums be mentally strong, I would love to support you. So message me on Instagram on Mentally Strong Mums, MUMS, all one word. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day, you beautiful mum.